Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special vlog. Last week I had the exciting opportunity to go to our local university greenhouse and tour it during a very special plant sale they were having. You can imagine how completely excited I was to have the chance to go and spend time absolutely surrounded by plants everywhere. Just look at all the greenery. Oh, it was so much fun. I may joke that my home is like a greenhouse, but the shelves of plants I have are absolutely nothing compared to this beautiful temperature and humidity controlled building. It's not the biggest greenhouse in the world, but it's definitely a labor of love to the greenhouse curator who takes care of this greenhouse. He's collected well over 900 different plant species from across the entire world, many of which he began collecting when he served overseas as a member of the US Navy, which I think is really fascinating. He fell in love with the plants on the tropical islands that he was stationed to, and so he ended up being a botany teacher, a botany professor in the future. We share a lot of interest, and I like spending a bit of time talking with him. He's camera shy, so I doubt you'll ever see him, but he has allowed me to come in and tour the greenhouse whenever I want. So you can imagine that I'm going to be visiting the university greenhouse and showing off the hundreds of beautiful specimens that he has more often. I deeply admire and respect his botanical knowledge too, and he kind of gives me a goal to shoot for, to be someone who can be that dedicated and that knowledgeable about the hundreds and hundreds of amazing different species that he had available. And he doesn't discriminate. He had the little mosses, he had the giant ferns and palm trees, he had flowering plants from China, he had papayas, he had everything. It was so cool. We had a wonderful time wandering around the plants. I was really happy. It is always amazing to me how so many diverse and different species from all over the world can come together and coexist with one another. These plants are from all over the world. There are Japanese pine trees planted next to palm trees, planted next to cacti from the coast of Africa. And thanks to the skill of this man, they are all thriving together, which I think is really amazing. There's a lot of different succulents and cactuses that I hope to go back and focus more one-on-one on, because I really think that cactuses and succulents are some of the most fascinating of the plant groups, even if I can never keep them alive. So we will be going back because we'll be looking at all the little guys, some of their adaptations. We'll be learning a little bit more about them just because I love doing that. I mean, look at that little cactus. It looks like a little cluster of rocks, but it is actually a little cactus, which I think is really fun. And although it may look like nothing but walls of greenery to most people, there are some very special gems hiding here. And I want to show you guys the antroot orchids, the dozens of staghorn ferns, the epiphytes, the poisonous plants such as this one. And I want to show you the rock cactus, the papaya trees. One of my goals is to be able to come to this greenhouse more often so that we can really learn about all the different specimens and get to know like the real life examples of some of the amazing plants from all over the world. And one of those amazing plants, it happens to be one of my favorite, is this little mimosa. And a lot of you guys may know mimosas because they are known as the shy, bashful, or shrinking plant. If you touch it, whoosh! The plant has a chemical reaction that releases all of the water from a specific plant cells, and so it folds its leaves in really tight so that way hopefully whatever animal is trying to eat it will go away. It's thought that this is an adaptation in case insects land on it, so that way if an insect lands on those leaves can pull in tight and it can go, nope, you're not eating me. Those are really fun. I love the mimosas. I actually grew up with a whole bunch of them in Texas where they're considered weeds, so you can find them out in the yard. They get into agricultural beds a lot, and they're just so fun because if you touch them, they pull their little leaves closed. So we'll be looking at those. We'll be looking at some of the hibiscus, which are some of my favorite. More of the little cacti. I was very impressed. I mean, look at these flowers. Isn't that just amazing? There were quite a few different flowers. There were passion fruit flowers. There were, there's a whole section, like these guys. There's a whole section with your carnivorous plants, pitcher plants, and sundews. You've got quite a few of your Venus flytraps, a whole bunch. And I noticed there were not very many insects. There were a few flies around here, and we joked it wasn't a good place for them. But, you know, from their point of view, it's very exciting to be a fly next to these carnivorous plants because they smell so good. So we will be looking into those guys a little bit more too. And then let's see. Oh my gosh, there were just so many different plants. I cannot wait to show you guys, especially a lot of air plants. You'll see a lot of epiphytes, you'll see a lot of orchids. He had them hanging up absolutely everywhere. I want my house to look like this. And he had quite a few of my absolute favorite staghorn ferns. These are staghorn or elkhorn ferns, and they're very uniquely shaped like fern fronds. They're from all over the place too. You can find them in South America, Africa, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Guinea. They've got little tuft roots that attach themselves to usually the sides of trees. Oh, look at them. They're everywhere. They were absolutely everywhere. Oh, but it was so much fun. I absolutely love being surrounded by greenery, and I love taking plants that some people may think are rather boring, and with a little bit of knowledge, showing you guys the secrets that these plants hold, that our planet holds, that we all share together. So I can't wait to do that, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay curious, everyone!